So 2019, the world comes crashing down. COVID shows up, the whole deal. Well, it showed up, and they were canceling stuff right around November. And I was on the way to Syracuse, New York. Jeremy Corcoran was putting on the show there at the fairgrounds, and we knew it forever as the Peddler Show, but it's now the Northeast Racing Product Show. Anyway, great show for us, man. Tons of customers up there. We don't miss that show for anything. So I'm on the way up, and I'm at the Pennsylvania New York state line. Jeremy calls me. He goes, "Hey, man, you need to turn around and go home." And I said, "Well, why?" And he goes, "Well, the governor, at the time it was Cuomo, said they're canceling the show at the fairground. We can't have more than 50 people congregate." And I was like, "Dang, man, all right." So I hang up the phone. I get there, I start brainstorming. I'm like, "Man, I'm not taking that for an answer. These people are ready. We got Canadians coming. We got people coming from everywhere. And everybody's got the weekend marked off. And there's nothing else going on. I guess deer season had started, but other than that, there was nothing really happening." So I'm like, "You know what? I'm not taking no for an answer." So I hang up. I call Jimmy Zacharias, and I'm like, "Hey, Jimmy, where should I need to put a show on. I got to do a 1 day deal or whatever." He's like, "Man, call the fairground, see if they'll rent it to you." I was like, "Good idea." So I called there, and Jimmy's like, "You can do it at our shop if you want to do it at our shop. Just don't know how successful it's going to be." So call over the fairgrounds, and they're like, "Yeah, you can't have more than 50 people here, and we can't rent to you anyway." But Jeremy had already paid, and he wasn't getting his money back. And I'm like, "Man, I could just use some of that," but nah, that wasn't going to work. So Jimmy's shop, he's like, "Man, we'd have to move some race cars out and stuff, but for you, man, we'll do it. Those guys have always been like brothers to me." I'm like, "Man, I appreciate that." So I knew Jeremy had built a new shop, and I was thinking, "Man, I wonder how many race cars he's got in there." So I called Jeremy back. I'm like, "Hey, how many race cars you got in your new shop?" He said, "Well, just got the one in there right now." I says, "Well, I mean, is the shop finished?" He goes, "Oh yeah, he's working the whole deal." I said, "Well, rent me your shop, and I'm going to put on a show of my own in your shop." He said, "Man, I don't think it's going to work." And I'm like, "You may be right. It might not work." I said, "Let me make a couple other calls." So I called the Embassy Suites there at Destiny USA, and they had a wedding going on, and I couldn't get in there until like 2 o'clock on Saturday, which was going to close up our window too. And I was like, "Dang." So I called Jeremy back. I said, "Man, I'm going to do it." So I rush over to Jeremy's, shoot a quick video, let everybody know we're going to be at Jeremy's, and we get in there and get the setting up. And it's me and Michelle, and JJ. I think Cody may have come up. I think Jimmy and them may have come over and helped us set up. But it was great, man. So we did a deal since it was the coronavirus. I went and bought up like 4 cases of Corona. And as long as you were over age, you got to drink a Corona while you shopped. So we had this huge cooler of Coronas when you came in the door. And we had taken the empty Corona bottle 6 packs and put them in the mannequin's hands. We set up, and let me tell you what, man, for 2 days, we absolutely slayed it. I don't know that Michelle and I had ever been any more tired from any trade show that we had ever done. But it was an opportunity, man. It was everybody else was out. We were still in. It was a chance for us to go. And man, we made lemonade out of some pretty rotten lemons that weekend, and it worked out really good. And we still, man, our New York customers, we love them to death. Bend over backwards for them. They're just good folks. They work a little harder, man. They put forth a little more effort, and it was really cool to see them come out and support us for our coronavirus sale there in 2019. And can't say thank you enough for Jeremy. Honestly, we did so well. We have a showroom at Jeremy's now, full time. We're open there 5 days a week, and we actually have a showroom there because we've done so well. But yeah, that was an opportunity for us to overcome adversity and put my thinking cap on, got a little bit outside the box, and made it work pretty good.